another episode of Dear ABG, the place and space where we answer listener-submitted questions. I'm Helen.
I'm Janet.
And I'm Mel.
Before we start, we are going to ask each other a random question. So the question of the day is, would you rather always be 20 minutes early or 10 minutes late?
I could guess both you guys easily.
Okay, what
I could guess y'all easily.
What is it?
All right, Janet likes to be punctual, so even though she's not sometimes. So I think Janet would be the early one.
Yeah. Mel's right. My natural behavior is I'm really bad and I usually run late, but if it was something I could choose, I would love to be able to arrive early.
What about for me?
Girl,
I already know your answer.
She might be late. Mel's always late.
I would say that the ideal version of me, I would be 20 minutes early.
Oh.
I think it's always better to be early. Like value-wise and all of that, I think it's always better to be early. But I think I do end up always being at least 10 minutes late. And it just so happens to be it's either a poop attack.
Same.
Yeah. Or
you guys, that happens a lot on our Slack channel.
Janet's it happens all the time.
Whenever we have a meeting, it's I'm running a little pooping.
Yeah. You're always pooping. But it's either that or I think it happens a lot when I'm getting ready to go somewhere and I actually have to look nice. Because I think there's always a question of do I curl my hair? And I always misjudge it.
That's the activity that puts you over.
Because if my hair is a little wet, I'm okay, I can curl it, but it actually takes a lot longer. And then you're halfway through, and then you're supposed to leave, and you're fuck, half my hair is curled and half it's not. So then you become 10 minutes late. I don't try to be late. I try to be on time.
Yeah.
I think I usually end up late because I try to maximize time.
That too, yes.
And then I judge poorly. So
yes, that too. Yeah. I would agree. Yeah. Efficiency, if you arrive 20 minutes early, it's what are you gonna do with yourself?
Yeah.
You waste 20 minutes of time that you could have been doing something else.
Exactly.
Yes.
So based on Mel's reaction, I'm gonna guess that she would be the 10 minutes
20
late.
minutes late.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
Times 3.
Yeah. I will admit, I'm definitely that person on our Slack channel that's a random poop attack. I don't know why. It just always happens. It always happens when I'm about
Random spit attack.
I attack a lot. But Helen does bring up a good point that I think for certain events, it's really respectful to be early and on time. And I try to be on time for those things. But usually if it's a party or whatever, I like to be fashionably late. Because I don't like to be early. You're what do I do? I'm socially awkward, talking to someone, oh, yeah, how's your day? Versus if I go there, I know my friends will be there at the right time. I can talk to them and I just like to enter it when things are alive and lively. That's the same jam definition, but
that is a good point. Maybe the answer depends on what type of events you tend to go to more.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Today's first listener submitted question comes from Selena. Selena writes, "Hey there, I only discovered your podcast and became a fan earlier last month, but I absolutely adore you three. I have taken the personality test and resulted to be INFJT. I also asked the person I have been seeing for the past year to take it as well. His results turned out to be ISTPT. It seems quite the opposite. And our personalities and habits are definitely different, and he even told me he found the test pointless. I'm starting to wonder if I'm with someone whose personality will not work out with mine in the long run. Any advice? Do you guys rely a lot on the Myers-Briggs? Or what are your thoughts on?
I mean, I definitely ask that question when I'm on a first date. I just find it it gives me some context to who they are, but I don't think it defines them as a whole, right? When I hear Selena's question, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think an ISTP and whatever INFJ, they don't seem like complete opposites to me because they're both introverted. So if anything, I would think they might be similar actually, right? Because aren't you an INFJ?
Yes, I am an INFJ.
Yeah.
But I tend to pair well. I think there's something about the extroversion being around the intuition, where they have to be somehow opposite in some direction.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I mean, that's what I was thinking, because I think the core of her question was can opposites attract kind of a thing? And I was yeah, opposites can attract.
Yeah.
I don't think it should rely on a personality test to make or break you, but if you are seeing differences and the things that you like to do are different, then maybe this test will help you think a little bit deeper of why am I actually with this person? Maybe it's not the personality differences, but do I actually like this person?
Yeah.
is what I would ask.
So I think I would start by asking yourself what values you look for in a partner. And I think a lot of people say this, you should list out all the things you want, right? And it's so easy for us to be oh, then I turn the page and more turn the page. So I think a good way to think about it is try to boil it down to 3 to 5. and look at your relationships, your other intimate relationships, the ones you have with your family, with your close friends, and that might help guide you figure out like what are those core values or those core traits. And then I would go to him and just tell him and like have a conversation with him and just say, you know, like these are the things that I value. What do you think? And kind of let him lead.
Yeah. All right, so our next question is from GB. She goes, hello, I just want to ask about experiences in dealing with jealousy within friendships. I have a lot of friends, but sometimes when I find out they're hanging out with their other friends, I get jealous and shut down. I start forming negative narratives around the friendship, thinking that they're just not my real friends or they don't care about me. So with that in mind, I assume they just don't really like me and I distance myself from them. Please share with us your thoughts, advice, and more. Thank you for all your help and have a good day.
Aww.
Yeah.
So sweet. I think with like any friendship, it is a relationship. Like I've definitely felt that before. It's like, why is she hanging with her like so much more than me now? You know, like what did I do wrong? And then you start blaming yourself and you start like spiraling down. First off, she ain't your property, girl. So hopefully, you know, don't do that. But I think it is good to look within yourself, like even your attachment styles, right? Is it because maybe as a child, like there's abandonment or whatever it is that causes these concerns with like any relationship that you have, whether it's friendship or with a significant other. But I think it's very endearing that you want to be such good friends with this person. Like she's lucky to have you, you know, as a friend. Just don't let this issue become a bigger thing in your head than what it actually is. Maybe see if you can hang out with them, you know, instead of just like sitting at home and like, you know, FOMOing and scrolling on your phone and like, oh my gosh, she didn't call me out again. But, you know, either you hang out with them or you can also find more friends. Diversify your friend group so that you're not like, she's the only friend that I have.
GB's question actually makes me think a little bit of my friendship style. I tend to be friends with like small groups of people all over the place, and so I do tend to like hang out with one group and then hang out with another and keep it separate. So I would say, GB, maybe it's not that she's like avoiding you, that she's just doing shared activities with that group and assumes that you wouldn't like those activities. So maybe think of it that way, but I don't know, I would say like talk to her about it if it is something that concerns you. I know it's easier said than done, but
yeah, I actually relate to both you guys, but Janet, I feel like I'm similar to your friend. I have a lot of different groups of friends from all the different facets of my life, from high school, middle school, college, and even in LA. So I actually like having multiple groups of friends because I think every friend group brings you different values and you learn a lot from each friend group, right? And one's not better than the other, but they're valuable in their own special way. So I think kind of reframe it that way. And like Helen said, maybe you kind of ask yourself, you know, it's what are you not getting from this friendship that you're going to negative thoughts? You know, maybe you're not getting the type of right love language from this friend, right? And maybe also this is a sign that you could have different friends that give you other types of love. And I've been in situations before where I gotten jealous of a friend who started hanging out more with her boyfriend. Like that also happens too. And I was telling her like,
Who that?
It's her. I had a talk with Helen because like I think for me it's like we're such good friends, but obviously when you like get a partner, your time gets stripped away, right? So I got really sad. Now I wasn't jealous, but I was like, I felt negative because I'm like, I think something from our friendship is kind of gone. And so I talked to her saying like, I think this is what I'm missing out of our friendship, and we had an open conversation, and now we just make more of an effort, you know. So if anything, it actually benefited me to have a talk, you know, with my close
it
friend.
strengthened your relationship.
It did.
It did. Because when you told me that, I was just like, what? Yeah. Like, what's going on? And you were like crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, what did I do? And you explained it, and I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like, oh, like, she's crazy, like, I'm gonna stop, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, I care a lot about you, so I'm just like, okay, now I understand your perspective, and I can do something about it.
Yeah, and it was really cute because then I remember Helen was like, oh, this has never happened to me. She was like, this is so endearing. So I think if anything, it shows how much you actually care for your friends.
For every third question of Dear ABG, we're gonna answer listeners submitted voicemails. You can leave your voicemail right here.
Give us a call.
Is that on my boob now? It was on your boob last time.
It's on your boob now.
It's on my boob now, okay. So we're gonna play the first one for you. Thanks.
Hey ABG, my name's Connor. I'm a 22-year-old male, so a little weird that I'm calling in. But hey, I just had a cool question about your guys' thoughts on the texting and communication in between dates. So I had a first date with this girl I'm pretty interested in and whatnot, but I really like her, and I want to text her more, but I just don't want to seem like either clingy or like too, you know, desperate or needy, whatnot. You know, the response times too are a little thing I'm having a trouble with. Like, you know, should I be like responding fairly quickly and being a good texter, or should I wait a bit? You know, I'm not trying to play the game per se, but I'm just not trying to come off as too strong in the beginning. Also, a mini question: are flowers on the second date too much to bring? Other than that, thanks again, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.
Oh, that was so sweet.
That was really sweet.
Well, what do you ladies think? What about you, Jen?
My reaction was that was incredibly sweet, and why are men in their 30s and 40s not like Connor? So Connor, I would say, from that first date, if you know you like her, the number one priority is to make sure she knows that. But then you don't want to come off overbearing, right? Mm-hmm. So whether that comes through like if you texted her after, or I don't know, like you said it at the end of the date, but just make sure she knows it, and then kind of be a little bit hands off. I don't know. What do you ladies think?
I agree. I think I appreciate when a man's really straightforward with me saying, "Hey, I really had a really good time tonight. Like, I'd love to do this again." Because then I know that, okay, you're interested in me. Texting style, I could see the pacing being a thing. That's something I'm trying to figure out too. For me, what I do, I know I don't want this to be a game, but I will try to match when to respond. If he responds in 5 hours, maybe I'll respond in 5 hours. But then what I'll do to test if he actually likes me, I'll increase my speed of texting. And if he also matches my speed, I'm like, okay, maybe there's some kind of interest. But it also matters because I think nowadays people are busy, you know, so don't feel bad if she doesn't respond right away. She might be doing her own thing. But yeah, I think just kind of like play it that way to see. And the flowers thing, even though I think it's so sweet, but I think it depends how well the first date went. You know? If it went really well and you probably feel like there's chemistry, yeah, why not bring her some flowers? But if you aren't sure, I would probably hold it off for another time.
Interesting. Oh man, I've been out of the dating game for so long, y'all. It's been like 5-6 years. It's been a long time.
You don't want to enter it.
I know, but I think the dating culture is like so different now too. But like all these games that everyone's playing, like even watching you, Mel, where you're like, should I send this text? And I'm like, just send it, just send it.
Got him.
Yeah, so it's taking up mental space. Just send it. And she's like, no, I can't. Like you didn't, you only text me at a certain time.
I mean, yeah, it's hard because people say they don't want to play the game, but you kind of unintentionally play the game.
Kind of have to.
I understand.
To some degree,
yeah. I understand. But for the flowers thing, I would agree with Mel. I would say maybe never a bouquet of flowers. I would say maybe like a small bunch of flowers is cute. Or like bring her coffee, or bring her like a treat or a bakery item or something like that. That's like it's a little less like traditional. Like I'm trying to court you, you know.
That's good advice.
I'd be such a good man.
Really?
Yeah. You don't think so?
Yeah, you would.
I would text you so fast.
I was going to say for the flowers thing, if she agreed to go on a second date with you, isn't she already kind of interested?
True.
So then maybe you bringing flowers, like she probably will be receptive to that.
True.
Actually, I would.
True.
That is so nice. Sorry, I'm pretending to be her.
Mel wants flowers. Here's her address.
Right here. On my boob.
And that concludes today's Dear ABG. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. And if you have a question that you would like to ask us or some advice you need, you can go ahead and call in or write us. I hope things appear here.
And if you haven't checked out the most recent episode of AsianBossGirl, you can find us on all the podcasting platforms such as iTunes and Spotify.
Also, we have a new line of merch, Summer 2020 collection. If you want to look as hot as Janet right now, hey!
Wow!
Hey! Show the back! Hey!
It's not what we're done. I don't know what's that.
We're gonna put the back right over here so you can, or here. There we go. Okay.
There we go. Also, why is a medium sticker on you?
You can find that on our website. Yes. AsianBossGirl.myshopify.com.
Yes. And we will catch you on the next Dear ABG.
Bye.
Oh, is it a voicemail coming in right now?
A voicemail that's coming in right now.
Let's leave it and see. Yeah.
Should we answer it on the spot?
And that wraps.
Here we go. What episode of Briggs Ram Rap? And this wrap. And if you haven't checked out our most recent, I got this, I swear. And